All right, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host Chuck Stevenson coming at you with a fight review. So we're going to Dublin, Ireland for Bellator 275. We're going to the Featherweight division. Sinead Kavanagh coming in at 7-5, taking on Leah McCourt coming in at 6-1. So this was the co-main event of the evening, an all-Irish affair. So this was an exciting fight, and I'll tell you what, watching it live, the crowd was excited for this one too. So first round, Kavanagh stalked with strikes while McCourt circled. Now McCourt grabbed the body for a trip takedown to half guard. From there, McCourt passed to side control, and Kavanagh recovered to half as McCourt tried to take the mount. Kavanagh held the head before letting go. Some punches from McCourt, and then a really nice Kimura sweep by Kavanagh. She used it to get to side control, and she started cranking it. McCourt struggled, and Kavanagh just kept cranking it. And she was holding it for a while and just, trying to crank it. But, hats off to Leah McCourt. She did not tap out. Eventually, Kavanagh let go to stand. McCourt stood as well, but she ate some punches on her way up. And then a late McCourt takedown attempt was rebuffed by Kavanagh. So already I was a little surprised by the ground skills of Kavanagh here, because I assumed that as soon as it got to the ground it would be McCourt's. So start of the second round, they circled a bit, and Kavanagh tried to throw a punch, and she put her weight on her left leg, and it seemed like her knee gave out on her. McCourt was able to take advantage of it a little bit, backed her up to the cage with some strikes. They fought for a position a bit. Kavanagh was able to get outside, holding McCourt there, and there was a lengthy clinch battle with Kavanagh mostly holding McCourt to the cage. Now McCourt went for a hip toss, but it got reversed by Kavanagh. McCourt was able to stand, but Kavanagh was able to keep control of McCourt and get her back down. Now McCourt looked for a Kimura of her own this time, but as McCourt was focused on Kavanagh's right arm, Kavanagh used her left hand to start throwing some punches. Now Kavanagh was able to get her arm free, started using that arm to land elbows. Now McCourt then braced her leg and shoved Kavanagh off of her. From at that point, Kavanagh basically kind of fell to her butt because she wasn't able to stay standing. McCourt stood over her, started throwing kicks to the legs. Then she decided to re-engage in the guard, and Kavanagh started landing some elbows from bottom, and that was pretty much the end of the second round. So the third round started, and you could tell that Kavanagh's left knee was seriously compromised. I mean, she was having a hard time. She couldn't use it to, put her weight on to throw her punches. So McCourt started landing some low kicks to it, and then she backed Kavanagh up, and for whatever reason, she chose to clinch with Kavanagh. And Kavanagh, again, was able to take control in the clinch. Body lock takedown by Kavanagh, but McCourt was able to land on top in half guard. So it was a very sloppy body lock takedown from Kavanagh. McCourt punched from top. Now she passed to mount, but she wasn't able to keep it. Now she did stay on top in a half guard, McCourt did, but Kavanagh kept her from really landing anything, just trying to hold her down, tie her down. McCourt wasn't able to really land anything. Kavanagh was able to get to full guard. McCourt started throwing for ground and pound from top, but Kavanagh was able to sweep to top, and she landed some ground and pound of her own to end the round. So it went to the judges, and the judges scored it 30-27 once and 29-28 twice for the winner via unanimous decision, Sinead Kavanagh. So it was pretty obvious that Kavanagh's knee was hurt, but I couldn't tell you what it was that she hurt it with. I don't know if it was maybe a low kick from McCourt in the first round. Maybe it just went out on her. I'm not sure, but it became apparent that she hurt it early in the second round. She went to throw a punch, and it gave out on her. Biggest thing was that McCourt really failed to capitalize on it. She could have kept the fight standing. She kept going for the clinch. I guess she just stuck to her game plan. Like, she thought she'd be better than Kavanagh on the ground and must have decided to try to keep going with that game plan. But I'll admit, I underestimated Kavanagh's ground game, and I think McCourt did as well, because I'm not sure how many people were expecting Kavanagh to outwork McCourt on the ground in all but the third round. Now, I'll admit, I picked Kavanagh to win, which I got right, but this was not how I saw the fight going. Granted, the knee injury changed things a bit, but I definitely didn't see Kavanagh being the better fighter on the ground. I thought McCourt would have the better ground game here. But hats off to Sinead Kavanagh, who's, she was one step below McCourt in the Bellator rankings, and will probably find herself having switched places with her in those rankings on Monday. All right, so let's talk things to work on. For Sinead Kavanagh, I actually thought she fought pretty well, especially the way that, she knew her knee was hurt, so she wasn't going to be able to really put weight on it on the outside at range and throw strikes. So basically every time McCourt gave her the clinch, that's what Kavanagh did. She used the clinch, she used the ground to basically fight compromised as well as she could. So I don't really have a whole lot for Kavanagh to work on. For McCourt, well, for one thing, she showed bad fight IQ in the third round. Why would you go into the clinch when you've been losing on the ground so far? You know your opponent is hurt and they can't really throw strikes as well. So why not just stay out on the outside and strike? I mean, the low kicks were landing for her at first. But the biggest thing I saw from McCourt was on the ground. She likes to try to improve her positioning, but she doesn't really set it up. She's not setting it up properly. Like, she's not keeping her opponent distracted. Like, she doesn't use her ground and pound really to try to sneak in the improvements in position. So she needs to really work on her positional control and then working to transition to the next position on the ground. Now, for fights to make. For McCourt, obviously she's got to fight down in the rankings a little bit. Sitting at number 8 right now is Toledo Nogueira, another fighter known for her ground skills. Let's see how she does against Trita Nogueira. For Kavanagh, so Bellator kept saying that Kavanagh is likely to get a rematch with Chris Cyborg, and I don't know why they were saying that. I think they were so intent on McCourt getting a title shot if she got past Kavanagh that they basically just kept that same narrative with Kavanagh. Here's the thing, though. Kavanagh just fought Cyborg and got knocked out in the first round. Like, the fight was less than 3 minutes long, if memory serves me. I really don't think the Kavanagh rematch is next for Cyborg. I think Cyborg's going to face Blenko next, and then maybe either Zingano or maybe they'll do Kavanagh. But right now, I don't think that Kavanagh is next for Cyborg. I'd like to see Kavanagh against Leslie Smith. Both love to slug it out on the feet. Neither of them are exactly the most technical strikers. They just like to go in there and slug it out. I think that'd make for a really fun fight. Of course, we'll have to see how bad Kavanagh's knee is first. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the fight. Bellator 275 featherweight co-main event. Sinead Kavanagh defeating Leah McCourt by unanimous decision. Let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please give it a like, share it as well. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.